Is the PPT is visible to you?
No, sir. Your team screen is only visible, sir.
Visible?
Not yet, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning. Yesterday, we have stopped at the classification of the fracture mechanics. This is very important, okay, point. The fracture mechanics point of view, from this junction, it is very important, okay. LEFM and EPFM, LEFM, EPFM. So LEFM is something like linear elastic fracture mechanics, wherein suppose you have a crack in a something like a material, okay. So you have a crack, something like you have a crack, okay. So in this crack, when the material is subjected to load, system of loadings, whatever it is, okay, you want to analyze this particular crack, okay, you want to analyze this particular crack. So because of this load, what will happen, the plasticity near the crack tip, no, only small area it will be considered, okay. That's called, it is called small scale yielding, okay. What will happen after that? It will locally fail. The plasticity will not spread, something like you pour ink on a butter sheet, no? What will happen? It will simply spread, no? Like that, in general, the material mechanics, no? Suppose let us take this particular case. I have a crack, something like this. Okay, so I'm applying load. I'm applying load and I may have some kind of boundary condition, something like this. This is crack. Okay, this is the crack edge. This is the crack edge, you can see here. Once you apply load, okay, suppose I'm applying load, okay, P keep on increasing, okay, PM keep on increasing. The material is highly, what is a highly yielding material, okay, highly yielding material. That means typical stress strain looks like in this fashion, okay, looks like this is a yield level, this may be ultimate level, something like that. This is the typical stress strain graph of this material. Why I'm specifying the material means this is very important. This is very important. Let us say mild steel. So what will happen once you apply a load, you keep on gradually increase the load, the plasticity everywhere you will get the stresses will increase, isn't it? No, everywhere stresses will increase. So normally we call sigma is P by A. Basically, this is average stress. That means far away from a critical point, something like this. So wherever you have in general, here only you can say average stress. But the vicinity of the crack, no, here you will get the sigma max. You will have sigma max. So if you say sigma average can be within the linear range somewhere in this particular area, but whereas in this range, the vicinity of the edge or crack tip, there it may go beyond the sigma y. That means the zone got plasticized. The zone got plasticized because it went to plastic zone. It went to plastic zone. I hope you know the character of plastic zone. Once you remove the load, they will not come back to its original position. The atoms or molecules are disturbed. At that point, it will not regain its previous location. or it may come slightly, but it will not go back to its previous location. That is what you always have, the permanent kind of deformation or set in any material if it is crossed the yield stress level. Okay, so these things are all preliminary what you call that knowledge you're supposed to have by the time, because you know very well the fracture mechanics is something like an advanced studies wherein you supposed to have the material science knowledge, testing material knowledge, finite element, every knowledge you supposed to need to deal or realize the mechanism in the fracture techniques. Okay, so this region is something like more than yield level, so locally plasticized. But since the material is highly yielding material, what will happen? You keep on increase the load, the what you call that, the plasticity zone will increase. The plasticity zone will increase. It is something like the example I told you, no? The example I told you, no? The if you pour the ink in a butter sheet, no? How it spreads like that? It spreads completely. The material will when you keep on increase the load, the zone will increase. Okay, one point in time, the whole material will become highly plasticized. Highly plasticized. Now you know a character. Okay, highly plasticized means it is very close to a brittle nature. Highly close to a brittle nature of material character. So further you apply the load, what will happen? The specimen will crack. We don't know whether here or here, some crack it will go, the material will go into, okay, material will go into two pieces. A crack will, but okay, that crack is something like a purely brittle nature of crack. When it will happen? You keep on increase the load, the plastic zone will increase. Till that time, the crack will not increase. The crack will not increase. But what will happen one point in time? Suddenly it will break. What is this? This is highly yielding material. So here in this type of material cases, you cannot apply the LEFM theory, because LEFM only takes care of small size yielding, small scale yielding. So what is the because why small scale yielding? First, I will explain what is small scale yielding. Suppose this is my again, okay, this is the crack. Okay, this is the crack. What will happen? This is a material may have the stress strain graph similar to this. This is ultimate, this is fail. This is ultimate, this is sigma fail. Somewhere you will get sigma y. But here you can see this is steel, mild steel. This is an aluminum or hardened steel, something like this. So the plasticity, the yielding zone is very, very less compared to mild steel. So what will happen, the phenomena when the fracture starts, when you start applying load, similar fashion what you did in this case. Okay, what you did in this case, you can see here very clearly. I hope you're all following, backing with me. This is something like you have everywhere the average stress will increase, but here the what you call that, the plastic zone will increase. The plastic zone will increase. What will happen, because the character is something like this? Okay, it will have a local failure, because why? It cannot spread the yielding, because the material is not like this. Material is like this. So locally on that particular zone it will break. It is called small scale yielding. Then what will happen? The crack size will increase. Then again a plasticity will form. It will fail one point in time. Then crack will increase. Then plasticity will form. Then a crack will come. Then crack will increase. Likewise, it goes. One point in time, a sudden failure. So that you will study later. But this is crack growth. Here, crack grown from here to here, crack growth, and this is sudden failure. What is this material? It is a small scale yielding. What type of material comes under small scale yielding? Okay, what is the material small scale yielding? High strength steel. You can see here. High strength steel, precipitation hardened aluminum, polymers below glass transition temperature, ceramics and ceramics composite. This material, okay, will have this kind of, okay, this kind of stress strain character. You can easily go with LEFM. Whereas in EPFM, because the plasticity is very much concerned here, moreover, once the material crosses the plastic level or enter into plastic level, it is purely a non-linear analysis. So you have to go for EPFM. So what type of material we have to go for EPFM procedure? Low and medium strength. So mild steel comes under low. Why low? The stress strain character like this. High strength means the stress strain character like this. This is high strength material. This is low strength material. That is what it is needed EPFM. I hope you understood why EPFM needed here, why LPFM sufficient here. Now you understood very clearly. Okay, so with that background, this is what all it is, whatever I just explained, no? The range of LEFM, when I can go for LEFM, when I can go for EPFM. So this is what, yeah. You can see here, this is a crack, okay, a plate subjected with stresses. Okay, what is this material? High strength material, high strength material. Okay, so what will happen? This high strength material, once you apply load, you will get a very small stressing region. You can see here, there is a kidney shape, okay, a small thing. Here also you can see small this thing. So when you talk about, so most of the fracture mechanics, no, we are not mainly concerned about, we are not mainly concerned about we are not mainly concerned about 3D body. Okay, 3D body having crack, that we'll see later. Okay, it is not our concern. Suppose a crack inside, we are not very serious about that. We are not very serious about that. A 3D body, a solid type of body, okay, having crack, anyway, we will analyze that also, but it is not a point in concern. Our main study is, okay, thin. What is that? Thin body. Ayyo, my drawing is poor, but it's a very thin. Okay, in this thin body, if there is a crack, then it is a serious offense, or it's not offense, serious issue. Serious issue. Because it's a severity more and dangerous. That is what mainly the fracture mechanics we are focusing on. Okay, 2D structures. This is 2D. You can easily classify 3D, 2D, isn't it now? 1D, 2D, 3D. So 2D structures, how many sigmas? The three stresses we consider, isn't it now? Sigma x, sigma y, tau xy. This is 2D. Only three stresses. So here you know, okay, plane stress approximation, plane strain approximation. So this is plane stress. You will get this kind of small scale yielding, a kidney shape near the crack tip. Here is a small one. This is plane strain case. Both are 2D. This is plane strain approach. This is plane stress approach. So again, I cannot reiterate the knowledge of what is plane stress and plane strain. This is already you might have known, like your aerostructure 1, aerostructure 2, finite element, or somewhere you might have been taught. So this is what high strength material. This is high strength material. Here we have to go for LEFM. That's what it is saying. In this kind of material and the loading, we can go for high strength. But whereas the material like, more ductile material, That's what I drawn the graph, no? I drawn the graph. The material, this is strain, this is stress. Such material, let us say the plane stress or plane strain, doesn't matter. You keep on increase the load. Okay, you keep on increase the load as a sort of time. The zone, no, you increase while you increase the load, the zone will grow. Okay, the zone will grow like this. But no, okay, fracture and all secondary thing. Okay, but now I'm telling the material behavior now. Then one point in time, you see the whole body is plasticized. You got it now. So this is starting spreading. One point in time, this much. So a body is subjected with or a limiting stress is in this particular range, then I can go for EPFM theory. But if a body is going to this form, then I cannot do EPFM. This is highly, ductile material, fully plastic. This is a collapse state. Here we cannot apply EPFM. Only from here to here, in this particular range of the more ductile material, we can apply EPFM. What do you mean by how I can distinguish from here to here, here to here? These stresses, no? If the keep on the stress, the region is, suppose I load a sigma, a stress spreading up to here, till that point, then I will stop. Because by the time I will get my crack, the material will break into two pieces. It need not wait till this point. When, okay, if it is something like you consider fracture analysis. Or I can limit up to here. I can limit up to here. Because this is something like you have weakness, it again matters. Suppose I have my 2D body. Okay, my crack is somewhere here means, then, it has to go like this. So fully the plastic. Okay, the zone, if it is a simple rectangle, the crack is like this, quickly it gone. So I can stop. So case to case things will vary when I talk to EPFM. But this is something like it's fully plasticized. There is no use applying plasticity theory, or a case where I can load fully, then there is no point in doing the fracture mechanics. Okay, so this is the very important milestone in fracture mechanics, to have the fair understanding about LEFM, okay, linear elastic fracture mechanics. What exactly this? It uses linear theory. It uses the theoretical, the mathematics part we will see later. But you should understand, or you should distinguish, or you should, estimate, or you should design the structures. Which platform you have to choose, LEFM or EPFM. So that is what it is, a very important milestone. Hope you understood all this concept. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all of you raise your hands, please. Only three only raise an hand. Aditya. Aditya. Roll number 3. Aditya. So simply he switch on the computer and going somewhere. Can you call him? Somebody? See, this much I'm talking, okay, on fracture mechanics. If he simply vanishes, means how he will get this knowledge? Is anybody approaching Aditya?
Yes, sir.
Check him. What's happened to him?
He is raised his hand right now, sir.
Aditya? Aditya, please respond to my question.
Yes, sir, sorry, sir. I was in the restroom, sir. I was in the restroom.
Okay. So, have you had the knowledge, the classification of LEFM, EPFM?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was. I did go fine.
What type of material you can go for EPFM?
Sir, EPFM is, sir, the, wait a second. Sir, plastic material.
Plastic material.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by plastic material?
I mean, sir, it's the type of fracture, no, sir. I mean, the material's behavior to strain.
What do you mean by there is no plastic materials? A material may have elastic and plasticity. That's all. You cannot say plastic materials.
Sir, sorry, sir. EPFM means ductile material, right, sir?
Ductile material? EPFM?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by ductile material?
So ductile material is when given stress on both sides, it's just it expands until it gets fractured, sir, like the characteristic.
So then LEFM, brittle materials, huh? What type of material you can consider for linear elastic fracture mechanics? This is ductile material. The other one? This is what I'm telling from half an hour. I'm telling about all these things. And yesterday evening also I was talking something like this.
Sorry, sir.
You're not interested?
Not like that, sir. Not like that, sir.
Hereafter, please concentrate. Okay.
Sure.
Because this is highly, mathematical. Slowly I will enter into a highly mathematical part. Okay, then you should not say that actually I could not understand all these things, because you have to listen, otherwise things will not come.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. If the screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now again another milestone. We are entering into fracture mechanics. What is this? The modes of loading. This is very, very again important. Modes of loading. So you take, one thing you have to be very clear that we are always talking about thin materials only. What do thin materials? 2D materials. Why? There only crack is very serious issue. Okay, that is what you always think in this line. Okay, so I have given some test on some time back. What is your experience? I told you can tear off. You can take a newspaper and tear it. To perpendicular direction. What is your feeling? Anybody can share your experience?
Sir, when I kept the paper vertically, sir, and when I tried to tear it, it was like what to say? The tear was not symmetrical, something like that, sir. Like
Okay.
it
Okay.
went the other side or something like that, sir. But
Okay.
when I kept in the horizontal direction and tried, it
Mm.
was along the line like that, sir.
Anybody experience a similar thing or differently?
Yes, sir. I mean, when if you tear in the proper direction, it was sharp, sir. And if you are tearing it in the other direction, it was like zigzag, sir.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Okay, so I think most of you experienced it. So, so any experience, there should be some reasoning, no? Your level reasoning. Can you share that? Why it is happening like that? The observation is correct. What is the why? So always engineers means you should say you have to have some theory, something. Yeah, because of this, or maybe because of that. Anybody can share why it is happening like that.
Sir, might be during the production process it is made like that, sir.
No. Where forest paper is a paper. You are off the way. You are okay. But the engineering point of view, you can reflect this answer. Some 2 or 3 times you could have experienced, no? Then you have to conclude yourself, no? Why? Isn't it, no?
Yes, sir.
Some any guess or anybody says this thing? Just like you can share your things. What is your observation? Or even if you haven't done, you have to actually think in that line, similar lines. Okay, that is important. Always, whenever you do something, you observe something. Okay, you have to think. Okay, similar lines. Okay, hereafter. Okay, now you're all a senior. Now you are in a level of thinking capacity. That is adapting your knowledge into the fact. That is a character you have to build up. Something happened, you have to ask yourself why it is happening. What is the engineering behind this? You keep on start asking things. That is very, very important in your future. So the possible answer is the what you call somebody want to tell something?
Yes, sir, Sandhita.
Tell me, Pa.
Sir, this happens in some in a particular pattern of tissue papers and clothes. I think it might be because of the way they're woven or the way the fibers are in the newspaper or the tissue.
Exactly. So again, both the answers are very close to the thing. Yeah, if you see here, this is the newspaper. Okay, this is the newspaper. Let us say I'm just a double newspaper I'm putting. Okay, this is the folding location. Okay, so I'm taking this one. Okay, this half I'm taking. Okay, when I tear in this direction, so clearly I can see a clear line, but if I tear in this direction, it is going zigzag. Am I correct? Is this your observation? Isn't it? No. Yes. So the main reason is the paper making process. No, it is something like the wood. Wood is being processed and it has been going in the roller and they are making plates. Okay, they making the sheets. So in this direction only, they are making the sheets. Okay, this is the direction of the paper roll. So this a paper roll, when this is the rims, no, where the paper it goes, no, the what you call that, the wood resin or something like that, wood paste. Okay, so the fibers are all oriented in this direction. Wood is having fibers. Okay, so that you cannot see once you see the, so that is what the fibers are all oriented. Fiber means the paper inside you can see small ones, you see, you know, very high magnification, this one, no, the microscope, now you can see that. So that is what, once you tear it here, clearly it takes one path and clearly it is tearing clearly. But once you start tearing here, the fibers are all crossing, no? So it is something like 45-degree, it is making a shear nature of failure. That is what you feel. All because of the fiber alignment. All because of the fiber alignment. But whereas once I see naked eye, I can expect same fashion it has to tear. Why in this particular direction this thing is like this? In the now you tell me. Okay, suppose if I take tearing strength, okay, of this particular paper, okay, in this direction tearing strength, I would say sigma 2, in this direction tearing strength sigma 1. So which one is more your understanding? Tearing strength.
Sigma 2, sir.
Yes. Any idea? Any more?
Sigma 2, sir.
Sigma 2 would be more. Why? Because you can't tear it. You can, but it need slightly higher energy than sigma 1. Okay. Okay. Now there are two cracks. Okay. One crack is here, another crack is here, which, okay, both are same, what you call that, same dimension. Let us say both are subjected with, what you call that, same load, let us say. Okay. So which crack will fail quickly? This crack 2 or crack 1? The growth of crack will be more.
Crack 1, sir.
Crack 1. Now you understood fully, isn't it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is fracture mechanics. This is fracture mechanics. Now you understood. Okay. Okay. Now you understood which crack is severe. Okay. The alignment, all those things. And then one more idea, one more postulations you can make. Okay. Okay. So let us, okay, what I am, you can see here. Now, okay, now this is your newspaper. One crack is here. Let us say one crack is here. Okay, you have infinite length. Okay, forget about it. Now both are subjected to the same load. Okay, if the direction of growth, okay, crack 1 and crack 2. Any guess? Direction of growth. Here again, your knowledge should be important. Direction, growth direction. What is growth direction? I told you, no? When the body is subjected to the sinusoidal load, okay? Local stress concentration failure, local stress concentration. Likewise, over the period, crack is growing, okay? In that case, what may be the possible direction of the growth?
Along 1 again, sir.
Let us say Okay, and now what I can say, this is direction, this is direction 1, this is direction 2, but this is crack 1, this is crack 2. Now crack 1, how, in what direction the crack will grow? Let us say you focus on crack 1. What direction the crack will grow?
Vertically only, sir.
Tell me the in terms of number. 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 Okay.
2, sir, 2.
It goes like this. Isn't it no?
Yes, sir.
Crack 2?
Direction 1, sir.
Direction 1.
Direction. This is where you are making mistake. Now I'm giving another clue. Okay, ma? Fibers are passing here. Now you tell me what's the crack growth.
Again in the direction of 2, sir.
No. Fiber cannot allow, no. It will go weakest direction, no. The fiber are crossing. The crack like to grow, ma. The fiber is crossing, no. It cannot cross. It rather it may look something different, no. Weakest line only it will grow, look, no.
Yes, sir.
Then that case.
Sir, but in the last postulate you said that the horizontal direction was have a higher tearing strength.
That is what, no problem. Still I'm saying this direction only higher tearing strength.
Sir, in an
higher tearing strength means what? The tearing strength is coming because of the fiber. It is the property of the material. Now property of the crack we are discussing.
Okay, sir.
Still I'm okay with yes, strength is more, ma. No doubt in that. What is more? Paper strength is more. Crack cannot go. That is the question now, no?
Okay, yes.
Any idea?
Got it, sir. Got it.
What will happen? Okay. Okay. You can see here, crack will take 45 degree. Okay. Then it looks fiber and along the fiber slightly it will go. If any fiber discontinuity are there, it will cross. Again it will go. It will look, go, cross, go. This is the possible growth direction. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Suppose this is my crack tip. Here one fiber, okay, or here one fiber. So what will happen? This will go like this, or it will try to go here. Okay, then this fellow will not allow. So he will take a shape like this. Okay, then he will look anywhere the fiber discontinuity. Definitely, the fiber cannot be continuous. Okay, from there he will jump. Got my point? He will go, jump. Likewise. So the these are all micro level, nano level things are happening. That is what in the direction 1 crack, it will go straight because the fibers are all here means the weakest point in between 2 fibers. It will go simply to that particular end. But here, everywhere it is stuck up with the adjacent fiber. There will be some kind of gimmicks will take. So it will change the direction to 45 degree or some kind of inclination. This is very, very important concept. This is what this kind of things very much important in fracture study in the composite materials, because that is very important for you, composite materials. Why? Nowadays, all the, especially aircraft, no, made of composite. That too, fiber reinforced composite. Here, the discussion started with a newspaper. Okay, newspaper also fibers, celluloids. Wood, once you make a powder shape, the cool, or what you call the gel shape, the fibers will be there in the wood, but you cannot see. Once you high magnified, scope only you can see. Similarly, your aircraft wings or aircraft fuselage and all made of fibers, carbon fibers, epoxy resin. carbon fibers are all very nano thickness only. Okay. So a crack study on the wings, on the fuselage, why this crack is growing like this, why you took when suppose an aircraft failure, you are the investigation officer. If you go and see, then you will see that, oh, fiber, oh, this is what all it is, why it grown like this, why it is like this. Maybe the reasons are all what we are discussing now. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we are entering into the important this one discussion is the modes of loading. Modes of loading. Okay, now suppose in a system, let us say, okay, suppose what I can say, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Okay, suppose I have a crack. Okay, so, let us take a body. Okay, though I took a three-dimensional body to demonstration purpose only. Okay, there is a crack. There is a crack. You can see a crack here. Okay, the body is subjected with different types of loads. Okay, now what is happening? A crack will grow. The crack will grow because of the loading. Now, how the though the loads are acting, no random direction loads are acting. Loads are acting random, and if I look a specific point, let us say this is a crack tip. Okay, this tip I'm just drawn. This tip, the tip I just drawn. Now, in this particular tip, no, in this tip, subjected, it has to break. What type of loading effect is coming? It's a random loading you are applying on the system. Okay, n direction, n loads you are applying. All guys, you guys know very well that, you know, what you call that magnitude, that is something like equivalent. What is that? Equivalent force, you know. Suppose I have, two forces are acting, means this is the equivalent of that, isn't it now? 45 degree or whatever theta. Based on that, you can see you disintegrate, you will get this and this. Likewise, n number of load can act, but I can get a resultant load. Likewise, okay, this particular thing, I should have convert all the complex loading into three types of or three modes of responses will be observed by the crack. I'm classifying even the response, the what you call that, a reaction or anything can happen in this particular crack. This is a complex phenomena, but that complex phenomena I am disintegrated into three phenomena, separate phenomena, that is called mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. So any complex phenomena I can disintegrate into three modes: mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Suppose I want to realize, because I have started from a wrong note, in the sense complex note to make you to understand. Because once I say, then only you will understand the simple notes. Now I am simplifying my definition. Okay, I have a crack. Okay, I have, array, what happened? Oh, oops. Something this fellow is doing. Okay. Okay. So you can see here. Okay. So here it's very close to this. That's what it's here like this. So now you can see. Okay, I have a crack. This is the plate. The plate is subjected with the load only this way. Okay, typically this way means, okay, because of this particular load, this is I'm calling mode 1. If load is acting like this, then the crack will open like this. A crocodile mouth opening, no, that form. Okay, load is acting like this means my crack direction, something like a crocodile mouth opening. You can see here. Load is applied like this. So when a crack is subjected to this type of load, the failure will happen like this and it goes like this. This is called mode 1 failure. Mode 1, opening mode. What is how the load? Load is normal to the crack surface. If this is a crack surface, load is normal to that. That is what I'm getting, crocodile mouth. Then what is mode 2? Okay, when the loading is like a shear. If you see the horizontal thing, this is the crack. The loading is something similar to this. Earlier load was like this, mode 1. Because of that, a crocodile mouth opening failure. Now the loading is different. It is a kind of shear, not this one. Okay, so this is called, when such a type of loading is happening, okay, a slip will happen, failure slippage will happen like this. Slipping will happen, failure plane. Now this is displacement. Earlier the displacement was crocodile mouth opening, but now it is in-plane shear. When this force is like this, when this force is like this, when the surface is not tolerate to these two forces couple, so the plane will slip. So this particular crack delta will grow further in this direction. Earlier, the delta in this direction will grow. Now in mode 2, this will grow. This is mode 2. What is mode 3? Now the load is on the same crack. It is happening here. Tearing mode. So tearing mode means what will happen? The failure is some kind of out of plane. Out of plane. Okay. So this mode is caused by out of plane shear. When a body is subjected to out of plane, you will get this kind of failure. Okay. A paper usually separated by a tearing action. Isn't it? No? You took the newspaper. Okay. You can make one crack or whatever it is. Okay. So you what you did yesterday, one force you gave like this, one force you gave like this. Then only the fracture break, the paper broken like this. It's called what? Mode 3. Mode 3. So these three modes are all important failure moding criteria in fracture mechanics. Suppose in my crack, Okay, a complex resultant came, my fracture has to grow. That complex resultant, I can disintegrate into one part of mode 1 component, part of mode 2 component, part of mode 3 component. One effect I can subclassify into 3 effects. Or I want to purely demonstrate each effect. Just now I told you. You apply load like that. Okay, perpendicular load or just tear load, just sliding tearing load. You will get purely 1, 2, 3, pure that failure mode. If anything complex load, if I apply, the failure happen means in that particular mechanism, all the 3 modes or 2 modes will be part of that. I can easily disintegrate from that particular failure. Is this concept is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Over the period, you will understand better, but now somehow you can understand. I've done my better, way of explanations. Okay. Why, so any fracture comes, a complex fracture comes, it will have mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 component in that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes only mode 1 or mode 1, mode 2, or sometimes only mode 2 or combination of this and that will be there. Okay. Can we stop at the moment?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma. Any doubt you can ask me then and there. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
And also try to, be with the class because it's a knowledge. Whatever my experience on fracture mechanics, it is very, very important. Whether you like or not, you have to get the knowledge. This will be useful in the future somewhere. Otherwise, it's very difficult. This is very complex and very, subject is not very usual outside. So that is what you say, slowly we will enter into mathematics. Really, when you are not understanding this concept, then there you will get a lot of problem. That is what very clearly I am pushing the subject. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
See you in the next class. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye.